just 20 minutes. minus 7 minutes. T minus 6 minutes. T minus 5 minutes. T minus 4 minutes. T minus 3 minutes. 50 seconds. T minus 40 seconds. T minus 30 seconds. T minus 20 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We are back. We are live. And I wasn't quite ready, apparently, but we are here. Our stream had a little bit of a hiccup, but other than that, we're rolling along. Happy Sunday. I hope everyone's having a phenomenal weekend and you are happy to be back with the Wrasslin for Life Network. Will, how are you today?
Oh, I am good. It's a Sunday and weekend's gone by pretty quick, but you know what? We're alive. So, yeah, as always, Sundays is the day of the power rankings. So, let's get on with it. It's been a
Let's
pretty interesting week. The fallout from Mania and obviously some returns, some new gimmicks, things like that. So, yeah, very interesting to see where all these shows rank.
Yeah, no, absolutely, completely agree. And yeah, we're definitely going to get on with it. So, folks, if you're new here this week, Nick, hope all is well. Good to see you. Thank you for being here. As always, I don't think I said it yet. I'm KJ White. That is Will. He said hello already. And we are rolling along. We're going to go through the top 6 shows from this week. That's right. We look at and review our top shows from the past handful of days, and we go through all the main ones. We don't go into the indies or all the side shows.
No.
This is just based on your weekly shows. I just noticed that my screen vanished. But other than that, folks, we gotta. Oh no, yeah, I lost it. All right. With that being said, folks, we are going to start and we are going to get into this as you want. If you want to give us your opinion, your thoughts on where we're at with this, by all means. And now, number 6 this week on the countdown, Will, it's pretty easy because I went
Yeah.
Impact. There's no votes for Impact this week because we got a replay show. Yeah, we the multiverse matches. It was great. It was great on the Friday. We watched it, so we didn't watch it on Thursday.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's pretty easy for that to be number 6 because it's just a replay show. We saw it already, and I know a lot of people will be like, "Whoa, the multiverse was a good pay-per-view, man. Why do you gotta rank it so low?" Judging by like new material, yeah, no, it's a 6, obviously, for that. So if you want your explanation, there it is.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, now we get to go quickly to number 5, where we get to talk about a big night.
Wow, that's
However,
new.
what's that?
I said, "Wow, that's new." That we go very quickly from number 6 to number 5. Normally, we'll be like 10 minutes into number 6.
There we go. So, yeah, because usually it's Raw in 3 hours. But with that being said, Raw is down 3 spots to number 6 this week. Now, this one's going to be highly debatable, but I think a lot of us were a little disappointed. And if you just want to talk about how Raw kicked off, I'm just going to fix my screen real quick.
Yeah,
So all you, but that's the nature of being live. So
you gotta
Raw number
love it.
5, Will.
Raw number 5. So obviously, we all know how it kicked off. We kicked off with the control adrenaline in my soul. Holy Jesus, Cody Rhodes. But yeah, we kicked off with Cody Rhodes, and he was all talking about his daddy and how in 1975 he was holding the I forgot what world championship it was. I think it was the WWE one, and that he was supposed to win that, but he didn't because of count out. And then he was all talking about how he wants to win the world championship. And then, of course, we got the visionary Seth Rollins come out, and then a little bit of a handshake. So maybe we're continuing that feud on. And Yeah, that was a pretty strong way to kick off Raw, and I think that's why a lot of people would wish that this was higher. But of course, we've had some things ruin it. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I mean, what happened after that? I think we should go in order. I was gonna talk about
Yeah.
the Veer shit. Yeah.
Well, just real quick, Will, just on the Cody thing. I mean, we did get Cody's first speech, his first promo, very heartfelt. He had those teary-eyed moments. A lot of fans cheered. The whole Seth thing was weird, but do you think it was a return as far as his debut back on Raw? Do you think it was successful?
I think it was more like so that way his intentions are clear as to why he's back. I mean, it could be successful if you believe it is. I think it's more of a middle thing. Like, I think people wanted him to go to Roman, but yeah, I think he should wait for that and maybe a continuation on the Seth thing, maybe like going against KO as well. Yeah, I think it's all right in my honest opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I think he did good. I think there wasn't really much bitterness or any. It was just all about the future and where he's heading and what his thoughts are and how he feels. So it was pretty good overall. I still don't understand the Seth thing, but to your point, after the big hello from Cody Rhodes, we got into Naomi and Sasha Banks versus Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan. I don't really remember much about this one, buddy.
I think it's like a champions contenders match, and even like Sasha and Naomi won, but e- Naomi, no, not Rhea and Liv still get a championship match next week. So guess what we're seeing next week? The same shit over and over again. But
Hi,
yeah,
Anthony. I hope you're doing well.
I
Thomas, good
missed
to see you. I got to
I
get your
missed Raw
address.
this week. Yeah, because he
Yeah,
won the prediction game. I missed Raw
that's
this
right.
week. I thought it might have ranked higher as they normally go all out after WrestleMania. Not this time. That was a huge disappointment. So yeah.
Do you
So
think that was
obviously,
part of the low votes? Like a lot of people gave him like 4s and 5s for Raw. Do you think it was just because we've come to expect the Raw after Mania to be like a huge one?
yes, I think that's why. Because a lot of people come in with the biggest of expectations, especially since we all knew Veer Mahan was coming back. They were expecting people like Bailey, people like Lacey Evans, people like Asuka, and all that. Um, and all the people that did return, they were utter garbage with new gimmicks and all that. We saw that with
Well, we're
we
gonna
saw
get
that.
into that with the
We're
next
gonna get
segment.
into that, so I'm not gonna get into specifics, but yeah, it
Yeah.
kind of ruined everyone's expectations. So
Well,
yeah,
yeah, man.
that would
After
explain it.
the sorry, Will.
No, it's all good. I've just finished.
I was gonna say after the girls' match, KO came out, was talking about his big showdown with Stone Cold Steve Austin on on night one of WrestleMania. And then we get interrupted by what we thought was Elias,
Yeah,
but it
no,
wasn't.
it wasn't. It was his younger brother Ezekiel with weird hair and shaven beard and weird pink trunks, but and he literally said, "I'm not Elias. I'm his younger brother Ezekiel." That was I don't know.
How are they going to spin this into anything that we give a little squirt about? Like, I don't understand what the method to this madness is. Fine. Change his character, change his attitude, change his look, change his name.
I don't know. Um and especially since we haven't seen this dude in like what? Pretty much 8 months, 7
Right?
months.
Yeah.
Like and that's what you give us? Like come on. But
Hmm.
yeah, it seems like we're going to get a KO and a Ezekiel feud or something like that, but
Poor KO.
I don't think anyone's going to care about that. So yeah, a botched return, and I just don't understand.
Yeah, no, it is insane to me. And then we went for more weirdness because right after this, we got a match between Dominic Mysterio and The Miz, and it lasted 10 seconds, which is weird.
Yeah, I mean, I
And then
guess
we got another debut.
Yeah, we got the debut, the long-awaited debut of Veer Mahan, not in a match, but beating down the Mysterios. This is what I said on the SmackDown Watch Along. You want to say Cody was the gateway in AEW? It seems like the Mysterios are the gateway in WWE. We saw it with Logan Paul. We saw it with now with Veer Mahan. You know, people like that. It's just like, hey, you want your first feud on Raw? Do it with Rey Mysterio and Dommy Boy. Do it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I mean, I thought it was funny on Monday night, and you know, we were still talking about Ezekiel when Veer came out, and I think it ruined it.
Yeah, it did ruin it because, you know, I think that's why the pop was not as big as we thought it would be, because everyone was just still trying to recover from the Ezekiel shit. And then when Veer Mahan came out, it's just like, oh, hi, something
Hi,
like
oh,
that.
this guy's here.
Yeah,
And
okay.
then he comes out and kicks a guy who just lost to the Miz. Like, what's the point?
Yeah, and he is going to have a match tomorrow against Rey Mysterio, but
Why?
I'm not into it. No.
This
If
big
Veer
bad
wins,
beast we've been waiting months for is gonna kick the shit out of Rey Mysterio, and we're supposed to get into this?
yeah, a former
Probably lose
world
by roll
champion.
up.
Yeah, that's the thing. If no matter who wins this match, they're ruined. If Veer loses, then all the hype around him is gone. But if Veer wins, then Rey Mysterio comes out like a bitch now.
Yeah. Anthony, we'll get to this question when we start talking about what happened with Roman. So we'll get back
Yeah.
to that. Jojo, welcome to the channel. I hope you're having a great weekend. WWE killed Elias for me. It's sad. Oh, I still walk with Elias. Y'all are you're all awesome though. Thank you. That
Y'all
was easy for
y'all
me to
are
say.
awesome though. Thank
Yeah.
you. But yeah, that's the thing with Elias's gimmick back in 2018. I'm only gonna mention this briefly. I loved him, and I think you did too as well, KJ. Like, he was big in 2018, 2019. Like,
Yeah.
he had the charisma, he had big feuds, he had big appearances, and then after that, it's just like I think he got injured, so he wasn't able to play guitar
Yeah.
very good. But who cares? You don't need a guitar to be good. He sang very well. He could still sang. You know what I'm
Remember he
saying?
made an album and he was doing like the
He made
lame
2 albums,
yeah, and he was telling people like he was going on tour and shit. And
and everyone
um
loved it.
yeah, like if our buddy Chris, trademark, he absolutely thought like the shtick of it all, and the fans started getting behind it because they were waiting for the punchlines. But that being said, let's keep the show rolling along, my friend.
Let's do that.
We got a Belair promo.
I didn't care.
Didn't
I
care.
Yeah, a lot of people love Belair, but it's like I just don't really care, and it's just like, who else is going to challenge Belair besides Becky at this point? The women's division is dead unless Bailey or Oscar returns next week. It's going to be Becky again, and I'm telling you that I will take that to Vegas. We're just going to see a
Mhm.
rematch again.
Yeah. No, absolutely, absolutely. Jojo giving us some love.
Yeah,
Y'all are
thank
awesome.
you.
Keep up. Thank you. Yeah.
And send it again. So nice you got to say it twice.
All
So
right, there we go. Now we got a whole bunch. Yeah, then we got a match with Ziggler and Breaker, and Breaker wins his belt back in kind of a meh moment.
yeah, I know. And you notice the trend, like the newer champions or people that won at Stand and Deliver, they lose on like a Raw or NXT. We saw it with
Mhm.
Dakota and Raquel.
Yep.
Um, we saw it with Ziggler and Breaker. Maybe we'll see it with Sikoa and Cameron Grimes. And we also saw it with the relinquish of the NXT Tag Team titles under unfortunate circumstances. So it's like new
A lot of
champions are,
change.
yeah, a lot of change. So I'm kind of scared for Cameron Grimes. Oh, and Mandy Rose facing Dakota. Yeah. So
Yes.
man, I'm scared.
Who knows what's going to happen? But yeah, no, it's been a huge influx. Breaker gets his title back. He gets to do it on Raw. Some people said, I mean, you could have easily had him win at Mania, have this big moment in front of everybody, or sorry, stand and deliver, and then defend his title and retain it. You didn't have to do it this way.
No.
I don't know. I don't like it. But that we moved on to one of the bigger moments of the week for me anyway. MVP's in the ring when we get back from commercial. And here comes Bobby Lashley looking like a monster. Omos joins them. And then one of the biggest surprises of the week, Will.
Yeah, MVP turns on Bobby Lashley and joins forces with Omos. So you want to say, since Omos lost at Mania, like, what's next? I think having MVP by his side is huge. You saw what it did for jobbers like Shelton Benjamin, Cedric Alexander, and Bobby Lashley, who was in a shit storyline before he joined MVP. Yeah, Omos is going to be one hell of a thing. You want to make people interested in Omos? This is how you do it. So, yeah, I loved every second of it, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I mean, it kind of legitimizes almost a little bit. We're going to have to see more in the ring from him, but now you have a way to build an angle, build a storyline, build an opinion
Yes.
without, without him trying to talk. He's been given the microphone a few times and it's not been the prettiest thing.
Yeah, I mean, oh, there we go. There's what Thomas said. Omos needed MVP. He can be his mouthpiece. Yeah, exactly. That
100%.
he needed that. So, and even
Yeah,
then, you gotta have MVP as a hype man, as like a manager.
Mhm.
MVP is sort of like the raw version of Paul Heyman, but I love it.
Yeah, no,
He's
I
good.
like MVP. I like the MVP, what MVP brings to the table. So it will be good to see how this works out. But now Omos can actually get a push and see what he can do, and hopefully they do it right. They really struggle to do bookings for Giants. So I didn't watch a lot back in the day, TV deal. We'll come back to that one, JoJo, and we'll touch on that. But thank you very much for that question. We got that one. Then we got where do we go from there on Raw? The Usos and Austin Theory versus RK Bro and Finn Balor.
Not a big fan. Obviously, like Austin Theory has sort of been the more over push guy now. He pinned Finn Balor. He loves making the champions lose, right? So
Yeah.
I think we're getting Theory versus Balor at Backlash now.
Yeah.
And we all know who's gonna win that. Do I want to see Theory as champion? Hell no. I don't know. But hey, that
more than that, do we want to see Finn Balor jobbing all the time?
No. It seems like they just want Balor to get closer and closer to Grand Slam or Triple Crown or something like that. But oh yeah, he is Triple Crown now. But man, I don't want to see it.
Yeah. Yeah, that was about it. Now we'll talk about it later when we get to the end of this whole review thing. But yeah, RK Bro is RK Bro. Nothing really of note. Then we got into the Edge, Damian Priest. Now we have the start of what everyone assumes is going to be a faction. Lots of rumors of who are the additional members. Is it Ciampa, Loomis? What's Ciampa's new name going to be?
Yeah.
Whether they're going to call him Maurice or something.
Yeah.
No idea.
But
how do you feel about Edge and Priest? Sorry, bud.
Oh, it's all good. I think it's all right. I mean, it's something new for Edge to do, something new for Priest to do. So that way we all know if Priest wasn't in this, he'd probably be a jobber now. But I think it's all right. I mean, and it drives a lot of questions, and theories, and I think it will be interesting to see if anyone joins, if anyone feuds with these two, if it could lead to a tag team title reign or a world title reign for Edge, something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see what happens now. We'll see who he puts around him. We'll see if how it all builds up and who they go after. I mean, obviously, right now they're messing with AJ Styles, so tomorrow will let us know a little bit more on that front.
Yes.
Then we went into we had the more Alpha Academy and Street Profits. They ended up in a Texas Tornado match, and honestly, I can't remember who won. I think the Street Profits won.
I think the Street Profits won. So I don't know what the point in that was. So
Yeah.
I'm not really gonna touch base on that much, but
Yeah. Then we'll just
just
skip
there.
to what was most important. We get the main event is well, basically Roman Reigns comes out.
Yeah, and a lot of people were wondering what's next. I think Roman hinted like my next step is going to be Friday on SmackDown, which is pretty much that. And we all know what it is now, but we'll touch base on it on SmackDown wherever that's ranked. But I guess a lot of people expected Roman to vacate the titles, but nope, he's just fine. He's just fine now, I guess.
Well, yeah, it seems like he's doing okay, but he just gave like it was really weird. Like they sold us on he was going to be there. And I think there's part of why he got rated so bad. Like he comes out and he says, "Oh, yeah, like I got plans. I'll tell you on Friday." That was it. And then we went home. The match before that was, Alpha Academy and the Prophets again. We've seen it, seen it, seen it. No big tag team surprise, no big returns that blew our mind. Veer's debut was sullied and stupid. Ezekiel, what the? And we'll talk about the name thing later again because we're always talking about the name thing. At some point, it's just goddamn asinine and insulting to the fans to have these
Yeah,
characters come out with these shit names and these shit gimmicks. And it's like going back to old, like, Isaac Yankem and Henry Godwin days of wrestling. It's awful.
yeah, and it's hard to get anybody invested in them and stuff like that. Much to
Yep.
JoJo's point, I love WWE, but nowadays it's hard for me to watch, honestly. Yeah, exactly. Who wants? Imagine asking somebody, "Who's your favorite wrestler?" Ezekiel.
Ezekiel? Yeah, like, I mean, who? Why? Oh,
Yeah,
Elias's little brother. Like, what are we talking about?
yeah. No,
So, yeah.
who would want to buy a shirt that says Ezekiel on it?
Yeah, like, I mean, how are you gonna sell him other than a hapless chump?
Yeah, I mean, I don't understand in the slightest.
So, yeah, that's
That
sorry, I'm
was
just pulling up
Raw.
the next one. That was Raw, ladies and gentlemen, number 5 this week. It would have been number 6 if Impact actually had a current show. But we'll leave it there. Number 4 this week on the power rankings. Boom.
Wow. NXT 2.0. Normally the entertaining part of the week.
Yeah, usually the humor and the fun stuff of the week, but not so much this week. Wasn't a terrible show. Most fans ranked it around a 5-6. So good, but not great.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean we've had some decent moments in here, but I guess not the best.
Yeah. So we had some weird moments, and we'll kind of blow through this one real quick, guys. Um, we start the show off with Imperium. Huge fan of Imperium, as you know. We've been on the record many times about how awesome Imperium is. I don't think
Yes.
anybody out there would dispute us on that. Um, but Gunther comes out to challenge Braun Breaker in that opening segment, and I'm excited. Walter, Braun Breaker. I don't know how
Yeah.
this is going to go.
Yeah, and it was very interesting, especially with how awesome Walter is and how dominant he's been the last few years, and a great first challenge for Braun Breaker. You think, is Braun Breaker's title reign going to be shorter? What's going to happen? And
Mhm.
it was interesting, and a big challenge for Braun Breaker.
Yeah,
I loved NXT as well, but WWE killed that for me as well. Vince hates wrestling fans. I truly believe. I miss the old days, man. I miss the 2016 days where everything was good. Everything. That was
right.
when I first started watching. That was what got me in.
Yep.
Now it's unrecognizable in my eyes.
Yeah, it really is. It's really fun. It's really been like this downward spiral as of late. And I mean, I've been watching for so long, and it always goes in ebbs and flows. And maybe they're trying to find a flow now, but too often, I mean, and a lot of the things they're doing makes no sense. Here's a perfect example. We get a tag match. Imperium comes out to take on who did they fight? I can't remember.
Is it the
The Creed
Creeds?
brothers.
Yeah.
The
Okay.
Creed brothers. The Creed brothers pick up the W, get the win, because Eichner just walked out.
And we get no explanation.
Right? One of the things that was funny in the opening segment was the crowd chanting, "We want Ziggler." That's a new twist.
The fans really like Ziggler in NXT. Well, he got treated very well there, so I wouldn't be surprised if the fans would like Ziggler staying here.
Absolutely. So now, Imperium, we haven't seen as a unit with Walter in NXT all that much.
Nope.
We had no signs, no worry, no story, no anything indicating that they were having issues as a unit. On the contrary, they've been looked dialed in and badass for weeks.
Yeah.
And Eichner just walks out, and we'll get to where this leads, but it makes no sense at this point at all. And even Friday, we'll talk about Friday, but it makes no sense that Imperium is at least fracturing at the moment.
Yeah, no, it's like they never really said why Eichner walked out or what happened with him. It was just like he's there, he walks out, and then moving on. Here's Index. Here's all this shit. Here's Persia. I don't.
Yeah. Now, just quickly, and we won't spend too much time on it because we'll find out. But again, in a kind of a very heavy, like busy first portion of this show, the Creed brothers get a win, and then for no reason they get drilled by mystery men who turn out to be NXT UK alum, Pretty Deadly.
Yes.
And yeah, they got new names too,
which I don't remember in the slightest.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, no, it won't. I was gonna look it up, but no, who cares?
But, it doesn't matter. Another
but even
set of
though
stupid
the
names.
Creed brothers are supposed to be feuding for the NXT tag team titles, but no, here's Pretty Deadly.
Yeah,
You're
Pretty
not on
Deadly
that
out of
level
left
just
field.
yet.
And why would they have an issue with the Creed brothers?
I don't know. Well, I don't know why Pretty Deadly would have a problem with the Creed brothers all that much. If anything, you'd expect them to beat up MSK or maybe Imperium. Breaks my heart because I once loved this company in NXT so much. I want better for WWE, but I don't know, to be honest. I don't think it gets better from here, in my eyes.
No, I don't know.
Unless some circumstances happen and someone else takes over.
Right. So after that, we got Cameron Grimes gives a little post speech. Me and you both agreed we liked Cameron Grimes and what he's doing.
Yes.
Solo Sikoa comes out, but one of the interesting parts about this is when people were chanting "You deserve it," there was members of the crowd chanting "No, you don't."
Oh.
And I thought that was a little surprising. So I mean, maybe people aren't feeling the Cameron love.
Well, maybe there were a lot of good people that could have won. There could have been Santos Escobar, Solo Sikoa, Grayson Waller, all those people. So maybe they were thinking maybe those people should have won more than Cameron. And another interesting thing was Solo said in his promo, championships run in my bloodline. They're referencing the bloodline. So
that was my next point. That's crazy, right?
Yeah, that was insane. So they're referencing him. Maybe there could be sooner rather than later. Maybe Solo wins the North American title, goes to SmackDown to run with the Bloodline part-time or something like that. Stuff like that. And I wouldn't mind at all, much to Anthony's point where he's always like, do you think Solo Sikoa or Jacob Fatu, like, do you think they're going to debut? Maybe. I mean, if Solo wins the title, I could definitely see him being there. I don't know if they would want the North American title on TV, but like on main roster TV. But I think there's definitely a possibility if all four of them have titles.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's obviously the trend, and we'll talk about it when we get to the SmackDown side of this thing. But the thought of adding a member, I mean, obviously the Usos have a match coming up tomorrow, I believe, and if one of the bloodlines, so to speak, and I think it needs it. If you just keep running the same three guys out and just beating the shit out of everybody, you get sick of it, right? You know what's going to happen. So a new member, a new vibe, a new feel, and it sounds like the bloodline wants every single belt they can get their hands on. They want to prove that they're the biggest, baddest faction in the history of factions.
Yeah. So if they want every title, they
Mhm.
could go for NXT titles, and that Solo could be a perfect example of that. That could be his job. Hey, get all the NXT titles while we dominate the main roster.
There you go. So, but and part of that was for me anyway. The so my stupid brain when they signed him and turned him into Solo Sequoia or Sokoa, I made the joke, and I've continued to make the joke that they purposely called him Solo, so we knew he wasn't a part of a faction, a group. He was going to be his own person, his own identity, nothing to do with the Usos, that kind of thing. And
Yes.
that's what I thought they were going to do. Now, I didn't realize that the WWE would jump into this phase where they change everybody's names multiple times without giving a shit at all. So even though Solo is about what 3-4 months old on NXT, just got Solo as a name. If he gets called up to the main roster, he could be, Solo Uso, or that maybe they dropped the Solo altogether without even giving a shit. Now
Yeah, it
he's
could just be Sokoa.
Sokoa Uso. Like I don't
Yeah.
know.
Who knows
Here's a good question.
which female wrestlers could join the Bloodline? I mean, Naomi's married to Jimmy Uso. You could also do
Yeah.
Tamina, who used to be with them as well. If
Mhm.
Nia Jax is still there, she probably would have been able to. Those are three at the top of my head. No other female wrestlers do I think would fit in the Bloodline. So Naomi, Tamina, or Nia Jax would be my top
Mhm.
three on who could join.
Yeah, I mean, I think I would take. You could almost take two. I think you could bring Tamina into the fold. I know we joked the other night about, Tamina joins the Bloodline, and then they got to put up with Tozawa, and that's like a storyline where
Yes.
eventually Tozawa gets like a buddy to tag with them, and they take on the Usos or some shit. I don't know, but I think if you brought in like somebody like Naomi and kind of gave her a heel turn and let her talk less because she doesn't have to in the group, and you could have Tamina as like her bodyguard, right? I
Yeah.
got no problem with that at all.
Yeah, I have no problem with it either. I don't get why they change things. To be honest, it's ridiculous. Vince ruins careers. Yeah, we've been saying that for weeks
Yeah.
now, almost months.
Now I'm not going to talk about the next part of NXT to speed this up and kind of move on, but it wasn't worth talking about anyway. It was the whole, like you said, Persia, Dexter, poor Dexter Loomis. I hope people think he might join the Edge. I hope so, because it's better than just making out with like
Yeah.
these gross. Again, I'm all
Oh,
for
we
love.
forgot on
What?
Raw. On Raw, they made Corey Graves make out with Carmella for like 30 seconds.
Oh yeah, they licked each other's faces. That
Yeah.
was pretty obnoxious.
Hey, we have a
Um,
reality show.
yeah, it's horrible. Wendy Chu got involved in the tag team title match, and yeah, we had
Toxic Attraction, 2-time champions.
yeah, there we go. So, like you said, title switches right back.
Yeah, and that's the second time Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez have like very short tag team title reigns. It's not an hour this time, but I don't know. That's a little rough for Dakota Kai's resume.
Mm-hmm. So then we went. I mean, again, not much to talk about there. Then we went to AJ Galante and Tony D'Angelo, the new dawn of NXT.
Yes.
I had to go watch this whole Danbury Trashers AJ Galante thing to make sure that I was speaking from a place of knowledge. What an insane story! And if you guys haven't gone on Netflix, it's a series called Untold. One of the episodes, I believe it's the third one, is about the Danbury Thrashers and AJ Galante, who seems to be the new heater for Tony D'Angelo. It is remarkable. His dad bought him a hockey team to run and operate at 17 years old. He was the president and GM of a pro hockey team,
Wow.
right? NHL, UHL, like the farm teams, right? So
Oh.
he was running a professional hockey team, and he used the Mighty Ducks movie and wrestling to build his team. And yeah, to go check it out, folks. If you got an hour to kill, check it out. AJ Galante's story is quite remarkable, and he's actually a pretty redeeming character by the end of it all. So the thing about Tony is, Will, I don't like how fake Italian he seems.
Yeah, and it seems like it's a fake accent. Like we kept joking. Sometimes he'll sound Italian, sometimes he'll sound Irish, sometimes he'll sound Scottish, and it's just like, what are you?
Then we went on to Nikita Lyons, who a lot of people are talking about. Nikita Lyons, she's making headlines. She fights Lash Legends, who I didn't realize was a wrestler.
Me neither.
Lyons wins with her big split splash. I don't know what you call it, but ass in the face. This week she went and turned herself around, so it wasn't ass in the face. But a lot of people talking about Nikita Lyons.
For all the wrong reasons. It's not, hey, she's good in the ring. It's just like she's hot. So it seems like we're getting the discount Trish Stratus without the talent. That's what I call her. I know I'm gonna get heat for it, but I just think she's Trish Stratus without the talent.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, okay. No, I think she's got a bright future. I really do think she's an up and comer. She's eye catching. She's athletic. She's fast, and
Fat.
right. I think I think she's got a bright future. I think she really does.
We'll see.
And then the surprising thing of the week is, one of the more surprising things anyway is Gunther Braun Breaker, man. Like, this is insane.
Yeah. One of the dream matches that I had for Braun Breaker, and we got it. Braun had a hard fought title retention against Gunther. I thought they made Gunther look strong, and it was a good match between the two. It's not like they absolutely ruined Gunther in any way in that match. And pretty surprising, apparently Joe Gacy is feuding with Braun Breaker, and they captured Rick Steiner being like, "Hey son, I'm proud of you." And
Christ
then
on a cracker. Like, come on now.
What? Yeah, and much to your point with Solo, it's like it seemed like they didn't want Braun to really associate with the Steiners, right? Especially with Scott's whole controversy. And then you have Rick there being like, "Son, I love you." And then it's just like he's behind like a little toy cage with Gacy and Harlan being like, "Hey, we got your daddy."
Right? Yeah. So first and foremost, Gunther losing like that sucks. Even if he is going up to the main roster, he wasn't on NXT long enough to have him go out on his back. He is the ring general. He had the belt for what? 4 years in NXT?
2 years.
2 years.
2.5, yeah.
Yeah, like he had that belt where he was unbeatable. And then he just loses to Braun Breaker like nothing. It was a short match. Again, if it was a half an hour epic match that they carved out a whole bunch of time for, and it was a brawl and Breaker gets the win, great. But it was a footnote. It's Walter. They just devalue solid talent ad nauseum in this company.
Yes. And I think that's much to JoJo's points. Is just like you have good people that start out dominating. Like, look at Pete Dunne, like Tommaso Ciampa, Ricochet, Braun Strowman, and then they become jokes very quick.
Yeah. And then the other issue I have with it, Will, is we go from, you named him Braun Breaker because you didn't want the connection, you didn't want people to know. Then the fans are barking. We act like nothing's happening. Then the Steiners get into the Hall of Fame, and they're like, "Oh, by the way, Braun's going to induct his daddy, Rick Steiner." Ignore the whole Breaker name thing. He just made that up. Like, it's just a weird thing. Why not call him Braun Steiner or Rex Steiner? Now that we know there's that lineage, he can come out and say, "Listen, I didn't want people I didn't want to get over on my name. Now that you guys know who my father is, I'm a Steiner." Fine. We went from that to his dad on the Titantron tied up in a cage. Like, now we're going 90s wrestling. And Gacy, who nobody gave a shit about, really, has Braun Breaker's dad kidnapped.
And that's the thing. Like, who really believes that Joe Gacy's going to beat Braun Breaker and become the NXT champion?
Well, I mean, if Braun Breaker's going up, man, and if really John Gacy's the one we're going to hand this belt off to, what has happened?
I don't know. Like, what happened to all the good people? You had Kyle O'Reilly, you had all those people. You get
Right?
rid to them because they're indie schmucks, and then you have someone like Joe Gacy who looks like someone who belongs in a psych ward. Uh, just
Yeah.
there. That's the next guy. Like, who the hell? I'm enjoying you
Yeah,
guys
I mean,
talking.
Harlan looks like he's
Yeah,
got a lot of potential, but I mean, we haven't seen shit out of him really. He's beat up a few people, but
he looks like a
yeah, no,
discount
they're
Brock Lesnar. Yeah.
we got to tune in next week and find out what happened to poor Rick. Is he at the bottom of the ocean somewhere?
Oh no.
Have they been taking advantage of the poor guy and torturing him? We got to find
Yeah.
out.
Maybe
We
we
got to
have
find out.
maybe we have Scott tagging with Braun Breaker, being like, "You have 100% chance of getting your ass kicked" or something like that.
Right?
But oh man,
All right. So JoJo's enjoying us talking and thinks we're great together. I agree we're great together. Wouldn't you
yeah,
agree?
that's why we do a shit ton of shows together. Apparently, we got the podcast together, we got this together, and multiple
Yeah,
watch
man.
parties together. So yeah, I guess you and I are just a good team. So
That's it. That's
shout
what it
out,
is. The
shout out to
family.
LJ and Chris and Ali
Yeah.
as well. They're killing it on their own as well. The four
Yeah,
guys.
actually, and you just kind of let one slip there, and we just haven't mentioned it to anybody yet. But yeah, we got Ali joining the team, so the team's getting bigger. We're adding more personnel, more to the fam. The fam is growing.
Yeah,
Why? So we can add more content, so we can bring you more coverage. Why not? When after you do a 38-hour marathon weekend watch along, you got to find other ways to bring more. So
yeah.
that's what we do here at the Wrestling for Life Network. And we're here every single day. So if you're enjoying the show, tune in, like, subscribe, and let everybody you know if they like wrestling, they like laughing, they like having fun. This is the place to do it.
Yeah, and also we have more shows coming, and one starring yours truly, and it's
Yeah.
coming soon. So
Yes.
yeah, get ready, put post notifications on. I bet you'll love what the new content that we do and all the content that we do so
Mhm.
far, including this. Smash the like button on this video and subscribe. And thank you for 106 subscribers last I checked.
Yes. Was that the hockey team that was just fighting and everyone was fan crazy? I think I seen the documentary. Yeah, he and NXT, that could be interesting. Yeah, Thomas, he turned it into, they went out and got the biggest, baddest guys and like guys that were struggling to make the NHL. And then they were paying them side hustle money because his dad is a legitimate mobster. So this is them trying to make Tony seem legit by associating with somebody who's the son of an actual mobster. But the guy's done well for himself. I mean, I'm intrigued. I just think if Tony talked normal without the accent, but really talked about his Italian heritage and roots, it would be better and more believable.
KJ, what do you expect? This is Vincent Bruce we're talking about. I
There
don't
you
think they
go.
care about certain veteran talent. Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
That was on the independent circuit. That's why they're doing that with Wall. Yeah, that was what we said. Kyle O'Reilly, Tommaso Ciampa, Johnny Gargano. They throw them out, right? So
mhm.
yeah,
That's a valid point. Braun
Braun,
Steiner.
I wouldn't mind that if they just named him Braun Steiner. But then again, why the breaker thing? You were gonna set them away from the Steiners, and
Mhm.
then they're in the Hall of Fame. Oh yeah, we have a Steiner in NXT.
Oh, by
Whoops.
the way, now his dad is an Achilles heel. That's why I didn't tell anybody. People are always kidnapping my dad.
Yeah, I wanted to protect my family. Case in point.
KJ, weren't
That's
me
for
and
you.
you talking about Joe Gacy that we feel like he's a David Koresh, Charles Manson cult type? Yes, we did talk about that, Anthony. My issue with Gacy is with the Charles Manson, David Koresh, that type of character, and you see it with almost like kind of what Edge is doing now. When Edge
Yes.
lost his mind and became a heel again, now he's building this. There's something in his eyes where he's like, like it's intimidating. Where you're like, oh shit, he's crazy. With Gacy, I don't get that vibe yet.
Yeah, it seems like he fakes it. Me and my buddy do one as well. I guess they're talking about a podcast, and I would love
Yeah,
to have y'all in. Just let me
yeah,
know because we would love more people. Yeah, for sure. I wouldn't mind
absolutely.
hopping, being a guest on the podcast, and KJ as
Mhm.
well. Yeah,
Yeah.
we're
We're all
down.
about the community and family and building, and we much love, and there's enough fans out there for everyone just to get along and support each other, and that's what we've been about for day one. Now we're at
Always.
day 40 something,
47,
47. Yeah.
46, 47. Still trying to throw my hat in the ring and join you guys.
Yes, Nick, absolutely, and we got to chat and we work that out, and absolutely appreciate that support. And yeah, we're always open to the love. But with that being said, the clock is ticking by. Will, So let's move on to number 3 really quick, and we'll get to the last couple. But number 3 this week was SmackDown. People
Up
raved
3.
about it. It was 7s and 8s.
Huge improvement. But here's my sort of smoke and mirrors about SmackDown. It just seemed like the thing with SmackDown is that we see the same shit over and over, and that's what I never get with this show. So for this to be number 3, in my opinion, it just goes to show how shit the week was, in my opinion. Top 3
There you
SmackDown.
go. Yeah.
I'm surprised.
I mean, technically, you could have argued that it was probably worse. It could have been in the same mix as NXT.
Yeah.
I mean, if fans out there want to make their shows or their favorite shows number 1, you got to show up to the watch parties and vote. But other than that, man, I think, like you said, I think what you got was some decent content. We got, but your point, the show was not the greatest. Butch. Well, just quickly, the only thing we're going to talk about in the opening of that show was Butch. They've completely destroyed Pete Dunne. Speaking of name changes, speaking of stupid goddamn characters, they've turned Pete Dunne into a spastic little kid who needs a dose of Ritalin on the highest level.
Yes.
And he just looks ridiculous. I can't stop laughing. Friday night, I was in tears on this stream because of this Butch character who is spastic, slapping everybody.
Yeah, and he lost to a roll up by Xavier Woods, which you called like amazing, and Pete Dunne slaps Ridge and Sheamus, and then they put him on timeout in the corner. You saw he pouted there.
Yeah, just like they got to hold him back. Like he went from calm, cool, and collected, and a badass, the bruiserweight, to this psychopath that everyone's got. I'm telling you, we're this close, and everyone heard me say it. We're this close to this guy coming out with a leash.
Yeah, it seems like they'll do that now, and they ruined this guy, man. And that was his in-ring debut on SmackDown too. He lost to a roll-up in minutes, and then he's a spaz.
He's a spaz. And we called. It was funny. I on the prediction game that we played, I bet against him, and then I called. I bet for him because they should give him the win, and then I called what was going to happen instead. And I was like, son of a bitch. After that, Will, we got Sami Zayn. And Gunther makes his debut.
Yeah, we got
Ludwig, another name change.
Yeah, Marcel Barthel is now Ludwig, no Fabian Eichner. For some reason, he's just Ludwig, and he introduces Gunther to the ring, and I smell squash match happens, and obviously Gunther wins. So it'll be interesting to see what's next for him.
Yeah, no, shit. I don't know what's gonna happen. Sammy's I mean, I'm all for Sami getting good matches and not fighting, semi-celebrities. But and we also got Raquel Rodriguez, formerly. This one bothers me a little bit.
Raquel Gonzalez. A lot of name changes.
Of Hispanic descent at all, Will. But going from Gonzalez to Rodriguez, that's rough.
They're rarely running out of Hispanic last names. You can just Google Hispanic last names and then boom, there's a ton. But you always see them. Gonzalez, Rodriguez. Like, what happened to a bunch of Hispanic creative last names like Guerrero or Mysterio or something like that? Well, I think that's their real names actually, I think that's their real names. But man, you can't come up with any creative ones. Jesus Christ.
It's rough. And then we got Sami Zayn with Drew McIntyre, which I'm happy about.
Drew McIntyre is facing different people now, not Happy Corbin's mid-card vortex. I don't like it.
Well,
I like this.
Happy broke up.
Yeah, so that will be interesting. But speaking of,
quick.
Obviously a quick Claymore win against Sami Zayn, and then of course, as you said, Happy talk. Corbin seems we joked about this. Corbin just depressed and just being like, I hate my life, man.
Just kills me. So Yeah, it's so funny for me. And then shit, dude. I think one of the reasons like it did make third on the power ranking is people I think were happy for Drew McIntyre, Sami Zayn, something
Yes.
better for Zayn, something better for McIntyre, and then we got the Sasha Banks Liv Morgan match, and it was pretty highly regarded as a really good match.
Yeah, and then what? Liv won by roll up. So to kind of set up, hey, could Rhea and Liv take the titles from Banks and Naomi on Raw? Spoiler
Yeah.
alert, they're not. Yeah, I mean, I'm not really into this feud at all, and a lot of people really called it the bathroom break match on TikTok. I follow wrestling TikTok. Don't judge
There
me.
you go.
But yeah, I mean, I wasn't too much into this, but a lot of people seem to be. So who knows? It's almost like Vince doesn't expect people to watch NXT with all these name changes. Like these people were just on TV a day or two ago, and all of a sudden they have a new identity. Yeah, Raquel Gonzalez was literally tag team champion 2 days ago, and Gunther had a title match with Braun Breaker 2 days in advance, and Marcel Barthel was wrestling then. Now he's Ludwig.
And Gonzalez and Rodriguez, it's so bad. It's so
Man.
bad, but we won't dwell too much on it. Drew
Oh
won
yeah,
by
he did.
yeah, Sammy ran
Sammy ran
away.
away.
Sammy ran away.
They're getting a rematch next week.
Yes. Scrappy do his Pete Dunne. There you go. Yeah, exactly. Right. Hold him by the collar. It's ridiculous. It is ridiculous on every goddamn level. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, and
But
then
that's all I'm going to say.
next we had Roman Reigns coming out with his next
Oh shit.
little plan. Yeah, and he his plan is he wants the Usos to come to Raw, face RK Bro, beat them, and unify the tag team titles. Which I'm down.
Mm-hmm.
Seems like the end of the brand split is near.
That
And
is
then,
excellent. I'm all for this. Let the
yeah,
Usos look dominant. All the Usos generally do is get beat up by the people that are mad at Roman, and then have like a meaningless job match to keep their belt. So I'm all for this. Go take RK Bro's belt. RK
yeah,
Bro can break up finally, and the Bloodline starts dissolving these belts. And yeah, I'm all for it.
yeah. And then we had Shinsuke Nakamura come out, and
Yeah.
Roman's like, "Man, I love you. Let me give you a hug."
Did
And
you see
then
how funny that was?
that was funny. Shinsuke with like a shocked look at his face, like, "What are you doing?" And then boom, Usos just kick him in the face.
That scene, that moment that was actually really cool when he hugged him. But when he stepped back and the Usos stepped forward with the kicks, it looked unbelievable. Like bang. So now we're gonna get here's the problem. Nobody gave a shit about Shinsuke coming out to challenge Roman because I think everyone did the same thing that we did. Really? Him?
Yeah,
Because you buried him for so long. 2 years ago, Shinsuke coming out against Roman, we'd all be like, oh my God, that's amazing. Now we're like, oh, really? Boogs' friend is coming? Oh,
yeah. I
so
mean,
I'm
there was a
happy for
ton of
him.
people. Like a lot of people said, "Oh, is it going to be Cody? Is it going to be Seth challenging Roman X?" Like Seth never really lost to him. So, nope, it's Shinsuke. Congrats.
Right.
Honestly, I feel Vince would kick the bucket with Corbin, to be honest. Yeah, they already did. Corbin's career is already dead, in my opinion. Vince needs to realize that Corbin does not really get enough heat as a bad guy or enough tears as a babyface, and stop pushing this guy down our throat. It's getting annoying.
When he was the Wolf, when he was first in the
Yes.
WWE, NXT, when he was just a dick, walked around, kicked people in the face because he was a dick, and he won matches, and nobody kicked out of his finisher, and he was just serious, and I hate you, and I hate you, and I'm going to kill you, and that was
Mhm.
good. And Corbin could do that, and he did get enough heat, but I don't know. This is they've again ruined him. Like they're destroying Walter in the same fashion.
Best way to build the titles, in my opinion, versus their current booking of everybody gets a title. Best show has like every show has like 8 titles. Yeah,
Yep.
exactly. Jojo now says Nakamura deserves better as well. I want Nakamura to leave and go somewhere else. He should be a 3-time world champion, honestly. I
Yep.
believe that. Yeah.
Yeah, he was a world beater when he came over, and
Yeah.
so that's where we're heading on SmackDown, and I guess we're getting Usos on Monday now. So
Love that.
tune in, folks. We will be here live. Number 2 this week, Will.
Oh,
Like,
they took the king of strong style, the man who was supposed to have a dream match with AJ. Now his hype man is more over than a New Japan Pro Wrestling legend. Yeah, that's the thing. His manager was now his tag team partner. And it's just
right?
like Rick Boogs was just in the spotlight more than Nakamura. And I hated it. Number 2, let's go.
Boom.
Rampage.
Rampage came in with a rating about 8 this week, a
This
little bit
seems
higher.
stacked. Yeah,
It
this
was
card seems stacked. Like we started out with Danielson and Trent question mark or Trent
yep,
Beretta, whatever you want to call him,
Trent Beretta.
which
What
was
a
all
match.
right. Yeah. And yeah, so that was the first out of the 2 Blackpool Combat Club matches of the week.
Yes. And back and forth. Trent's a veteran. Moxley's an animal. I wish Moxley would just change up his promo style just a little bit. Like,
Yeah.
just be in line with the other 2 guys a little. Like, I'm going to hurt you real bad, or I'm going to drop you on your head. Not like I'm going to crush your bones and eat your blood. And it's just a little much, but that's my opinion.
Too
Some
edgy.
people disagree with me.
Yeah, so let's not criticize Shinsuke for not leaving WWE. Maybe he likes being in the United States and his family's here now. He's a big surfer. He lives in California, so let's not force him to leave WWE. Here's the thing. AEW's in the States too. TNA. He doesn't need to be here. I love AEW. They brought my love back. Yeah, exactly. I think that's it for all of us, is that maybe here's my hot take. I probably wouldn't be a fan of pro wrestling right now if it wasn't for AEW. And I mean that.
That's a valid point. Definitely a valid point.
You would not see your boy here if AEW didn't exist. Like
Right.
that's shocking.
So what do we get next, Will, on Rampage? We got QT Marshall and Swerve.
But yeah, what else did we get on Rampage?
Yeah, QT and Swerve. Not much to talk about here. Swerve goes over. It looks like Swerve's Powerhouse Hobbs. We got this whole rivalry between Team Taz, Swerve, and Keith Lee. It's been all right for me.
At least Keith Lee's not meowing and roaring in his matches, so I don't care. Bearcat.
Yeah. They also did they tried to interview Hook. He's not speaking. Apparently Hook is mute.
Yeah, and then Danhausen, they keep doing and trying to curse him, and ain't working. Hook is all powerful.
All powerful. So yeah, no, the Danhausen thing with Hook is actually kind of funny. And I know a lot of traditional wrestling fans are like, it's stupid. It's actually, it kind of reminds me of like the Hurricane back in the day, where he was completely committed to the superhero character and everyone around him thought he was crazy. Danhausen's kind of the same thing. And with this Hook, the play off it, I mean, it makes me laugh.
Yeah, I completely understand. Anthony says, KJ and Will, I am an AEW fan, but I'm honest with myself in terms of criticizing them. They have inconsistent storylines as well, but these fanboys don't criticize. I understand, and that's what AEW's main criticism is that they have these fanboys who just think, well, WWE sucks and AEW has nothing bad going on. Here's my main criticism of them. They should stop referencing WWE every single goddamn promo that they do. You know what I'm saying? It's good for once in a while, so that way people are like, ooh, they reference them. And that was what it was at first when they first started with just references here and there. Nowadays, they reference them every single opportunity that they get, and it's just like, who cares? The other criticism I mainly have is that too much people on your roster could lead to a lot of people on dark, like Ruby Soho. Look at her now. And pretty much everyone in Dark Order. Like, these were people that were built and being like, oh, they're future champions. Nope.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I mean, I completely agree. And I mean, I think I come on here, I think a lot of us do the same thing. I'm a wrestling fan. And what I love doing, and I actually had a lot of heat this week, is either on Twitter or Instagram. All I got to do is comment on something. And I will be told to go shag my hat by 15 people. I don't even have to say anything bad or good. I just have to give it an opinion on something. Oh, this is going to be good. Rampage, for example. And 15 WWE fans will tell me I'm completely full of shit and I'm stupid and I need to die. And then vice versa. The hardcore AEW fans, same thing. A lot of them are biased. A lot of them are just blind. Like somebody was going on this week at me about, well, SmackDown does this and that. AEW has its kinks to iron out. Now, I believe it's getting better. The biggest problem with
Yes.
them is you get a segment with CM Punk and MJF, and it's amazing. Or Brian and Moxley have something going on. It's really cool. And then around it, you get some really bad shit that doesn't make sense. A lot of it's Jericho, a lot of it's the Young Bucks. But it's just like
Yeah.
it doesn't add up. But I think it's them trying to put it all together. Guys like Regal are going to help. I'm optimistic, but if you don't watch this show and say it's more entertaining at most of the time, then you're wrong, because unfortunately for WWE, and the fans keep trying to tell me, I had a guy fight with me multiple messages this week because he was mad and he was trying to convince me that it's about the promos. And it's like, do you turn into the UFC to hear Joe Rogan do an interview? Like, no, we don't tune into a sport to watch the talking about the sport. Yeah, you need an angle, you need a promo, you need to believe in characters to get where you're going. But at the end of the day, come on, folks, like it has to be more than that.
Well, thank you. I said the same thing. It seems like AEW lets their mid-card wrestlers constantly criticize WWE instead of doing promos based on their own merits. Yeah, exactly.
True.
All right, what else happened on Rampage? Because we're
running out of time.
Yeah.
We got Willow and Red Velvet to qualify for the women's tournament. Decent match. We don't have to talk about it much.
No.
Because it was pretty straightforward, and Red Velvet got the win. It was a good match, though.
Yeah.
Ronnie.
Just wasn't the most eventful. And I thought I was crazy when I said this with a friend who was who was an AEW fan. He got mad at me for criticizing them. I'm not friends with the kid anymore, which is kind of sad. Yeah. Everyone just really loves their opinions and they'll stand by them to the death.
People are intense.
Yeah. It's like you say any criticism of a company that you love, and it's just like, man, screw you. I don't like you no more. It's a 3-year-old company versus a 60-plus-year-old company, and people need to realize that. Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's like someone said Rampage on this night. Rampage was going to be shit. And the comment was, they've given up on Rampage. And my answer was they got Moxley, they got Trent, they got Brian,
Swerve.
They got Swerve. It doesn't sound like a show on paper that they gave up on. No. And well, look, Willow's on the show. I'm like, how is that the argument? Yes. So anyway, people just like to be biased. I think people need to really work on trying to be a little more open-minded. We've become a very narrow-minded society in 2022, and it's sad.
Yeah, we touched on that one.
Yeah.
If the AEW does wrong, I'll say it. If they are doing good, I'll say it. I call shit out when it happens, but half the show, AEW doesn't let me down. That's me being on. Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing. They have more praises than criticism, and it's way harder to say an AEW criticism than a WWE one. Now, before we go to number one, Jon Moxley and Wheeler Yuta.
The match of the week, the moment of the week, maybe.
Yeah, and Wheeler Yuta was bleeding like holy Christ, and it seems like he's now a part of the Blackpool Combat Club. They earned the respect of William Regal. Yeah.
Yeah, he bled with them. That's how it goes. Now, I don't know if he was just a young guy who went to nick his forehead and did it too deep, but there was pictures of literally squirts of blood coming out of his forehead. He diced in there good, and what a bloody mess, but what a battle. How many false finishes? How many times did we pop? I thought he was actually going to upset Moxley as well, you beat him, now you got to join him, right? But
you can't beat him, join him.
It looks like Wheeler Yuta has earned his Blackpool stripes.
Yeah, and I'm not complaining. Viber said, Thomas said, I'm still calling him Viber and I hate it. Still wanted Regal to slap him after the match. Right. Yeah, that's what I thought. It's like a slap, so you think, oh no, he's not joining him, and then the handshake being like, you know what?
Right. I mean, he could have always done what he did to Moxley when he first came back, when rub his head in the blood like a unifying thing. But yeah, no, it was pretty intense.
KJ, I never got you guys' opinions on my comment about Jacobs. I said we did. We said if Solo wins the North American title, we could see him join it.
Mm-hmm.
Because and then they'll all have belts.
If they have Jacob Fatu in their wheelhouse, that's a crazy story, because Jacob Fatu is a hell of a wrestler. If you haven't seen Jacob Fatu, check him out. But he is unreal. So if they're bringing him in, if he shows up and kicks someone in the face and he's going to go after a belt, I'm all for that.
Yeah, imagine them NXT Tag Team Champions and the Uso WWE Tag Team Champions. Boom.
Yeah, or even someone like Jacob going after one of the two belts that nobody cares about, the IC belt or the US belt. No one gives a shit about them. But yes, quickly we'll go from that and we'll get back there quickly. Rampage was good. I think the Wheeler Yuta moment, we talked about the other shows being a little lower on the ranking, but that match almost made this show number one of the week.
Yeah, and speaking of, let's get to number one, the undisputed, the reigning, defending, longest reigning Power Rankings champion. AEW Dynamite, the best night in the week of wrestling.
It really is, and I mean, look, we'll breeze through some of this because of the time, but
yeah,
Samoa Joe returns. Matt Caster and the Acclaimed are wicked. They're good. They're good heels. They're athletic. And you know what? His freestyle was good. I thought it was funny, making comments about the X Division, making comments about
his injuries.
Yeah, perfect. But of course, Joe dusted him, which was amazing.
Yeah, now he's in the Owen Hart tournament, which I think is fine for his debut if he's in that tournament.
Absolutely.
You said earlier this week, Punk versus Joe in the finals.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's get Punk Joe final. Two ROH legends. JoJo's feeling the Joe.
JoJo. It's so many Joes. I don't understand. Yeah, exactly. My favorite night of the weekend is like, if I have plans, cancel plans on Wednesday and be a part of Dynamite, even if it's for like an hour or an hour and a half. It's my favorite night of the week. AEW makes stars by great matches like Yuta versus Mox. Meanwhile, WWE just changes their entire identity.
Yeah, it's a struggle. Like I really struggle with WWE fans because I don't know what they see.
I don't know what they see either. Like it seems like it's just 12-year-olds who loves comedy and weird shit, which is good for comedy in a little bit. But this is why I love AEW more, because a young star is being put over even if he loses. Crowd loved it. He lost and he still got over, and they added him to the group. It was perfect, man. And that's the thing. Everyone has flaws, and they don't need to win all the time to be like, this is a good wrestler, right?
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, in WWE, if they lose, their career is over as you know it, which sucks.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of winning and losing, we got Christian Cage versus Adam Cole. Oh, comment here. I didn't read it.
I already said that when he didn't need to lose. Yeah.
We get Christian Cage versus Adam Cole. This was a great match to get things rolling. It wasn't the best, but it was good. Now the interesting part is we got a really pissed off Christian after it. Are we getting ready for the man who outworks everyone to get a little, heelish turn on these Jungle Boys, stop being daddy coach?
And I think that's all right. I mean, Christian doesn't really need the Jurassic Express. Like I had no idea why he was even there in the first place.
Because they need him.
Yeah,
I think that's what it was. Is Jungle Boy and Dino? They need Christian. They needed someone to talk for them because Jungle Boy wasn't doing it not well.
Yeah, but again, I would be 100% supportive of Christian leaving, and he's good on his own.
Mm-hmm. We had the little segment with where basically it ends up we're going to get a Texas death match on Wednesday. Kind of lazy booking. We're going back Friday. Into another death match on Friday. Sorry,
a special start time 7 p.m. So
7 p.m.
Long night. Yep.
There we go. Yeah, they're carrying on this rivalry. We're going to keep going, and it's going to culminate in a death match, Will.
And I'm 100% fine with it. Let's see how these two work in a death match scenario, and I'm all down for it.
Yep. And then after that, we already talked about the Joe match, so we'll go. Joe looks great. Joe hit the muscle buster. I'm thrilled. I'm so pumped. I'm such a big Joe fan. It's excellent.
Yeah.
I want him to go far in this tournament. I think he'll make it close. I think he'll get down to the semis, if not to the finals.
Yes.
And Joe's going to be a huge out in this tournament.
And I would love every second of that. And if we have someone like Punk, if like MJF, someone in the finals, to have a dream match with Joe, I'm all down for it. Even if it's Mox or Danielson.
Yep. I agree. We did get the segment. We're not going to touch much about it, but they're building up this Jay Lethal, Sanjay Dutt, ROH, Samoa Joe rivalry. So that's also in the back burner as well.
Yeah, it's not
Um,
really that important for AEW standards.
Not yet. Then we got the bathroom break of the week was the Captain Sean Dean, Sean Spears. Wasn't a great match. The whole match was to set up Wardlow looking like a badass again.
Yeah, and then we'll have like 2,000 members of security escort him out. Even though you can literally almost kill a man if you're anyone but Wardlow and no security comes out whatsoever.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it was so funny, but he, at least they're building up the fact that Wardlow's trying to kill MJF, and MJF's such a good at being a miserable little prick. So
That
I'm
is
all
true.
for it. Where do we go from there? We got Eddie and the boys came out, did a big chit chat. Yeah, then we're gonna go from there. Then we got some Hardy Boys. We got some Jade Cargill promo first, and then we got to the Hardys and the Butcher and the Blade tables match.
And this was confusing. We didn't know whether it was like one member goes through the table, two members go
Ended
through
up being
the
two.
table. Yeah, or a pinfall or submission. So it was weird. We were
Yeah.
all confused throughout the whole thing. It's like, how are they going to win?
Now, maybe we missed it because we were on the live party at the time, but they could have done a better job making sure we understood that we're not going to give you what you're used to, where one guy goes through the table, match is over, because that's the consistent. So they could have kind of shared that. But nonetheless, I digress. The Hardys, again, Matt, Jeff, they're both taking crazy bumps. Like,
They are.
they're not kids, man. What are they doing?
But man, it's so crazy that they can still go. And I really hope by the time they hang up the boots, we get an AEW tag team title reign from them.
Oh, they will. I imagine we will.
Yeah. Better than Jurassic Express. That's
mhm.
I don't like them in the slightest. What else did we get?
We got, I was just pulling that up right now. We got Julia Hart and Sheeta qualifying. And this was surprising.
How was it surprising? I didn't go that far. I didn't really
You
pay
didn't go
attention
that
to
far.
No.
So Hart is still got the patch on. She's becoming a heel. She's being heel-ish. And she actually qualifies over Sheeta, I believe.
Well, yeah. Well, we saw it coming because Sheeta has that thing with Serena Deeb. So
Wait, no, did Sheeta win that match? I can't even remember.
bro.
But Serena Deeb comes back. She's mad at obviously her and Sheeta have had a long-standing rivalry. No, Julia Hart lost. She should have won. But
okay.
yeah, and they're dragging out this whole: is she going to House of Black or is she just becoming a heel? I don't know what they're doing, but she should have just joined the House of Black and got it over with.
Yeah, they're really dragging that. It's been like months and she's still not associated with them in the slightest.
Yeah. Now, what made this show number one this week, and it's debatably the match of the week. I know I said that about Yuta as well. My favorite was the Yuta match, but a lot of people thought this was the best match. FTR Young Bucks 2.
Yeah. AAA and Ring of Honor tag team title match. And
yes,
this is how you elevate FTR. Like we said it a while. Like, is FTR just going to be jobbers? We haven't seen them in AEW TV much ever since the Pinnacle, really. So yeah, now that they broke free, they're getting the spot way more. And as much as we all criticize the Young Bucks and just being like, well, they're the EVPs, of course they're going to get title opportunities. This was still good.
No, I mean, I agree with you, and I believe the FTR is the best tag team in the world, and why I believe that is because I believe they make the other teams around them better. And for Young Bucks, they get in their match and they do a lot of stupid shit, a lot of tricks, a lot of flips, and the traditional wrestling fans, the old school ones, the WWE supporters that want to shit on AEW, they look at people like the Bucks and they say, "You're just spot heavy. There's no rules. There's no anything." It's awful. And that to me is wrong in the sense of you bring in a team like FTR, they slow it down. They give a little more rhyme and reason to what's happening. You still get your spots, but you get an insanely quality match. It is good from beginning to end. It's not all over the place. It's not running around. It's got structure. And the Bucks, actually, for me, it was my favorite Bucks match since I've been watching them on AEW.
That's awesome. And yeah, good job by both teams, and both teams looked good. And yeah, one of the big things AEW does versus WWE is to get you excited for next week. The next show, like next week, we get Suzuki versus
And
Joe.
Joe, I
Meanwhile, with
know.
WWE, it's just who will still be here next week. Yeah, they don't announce what they do on next week's shows in WWE. Meanwhile, during the episode of Dynamite, it's like next week, here's like 4 or 5 matches that's gonna happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, they're definitely very good at stacking the deck, putting it forward, letting you know what you're going to get.
Yeah.
And again, what is the WWE going to tell you? Tune in on Friday. Sheamus versus Ricochet, 24. Like,
Oh
what?
yeah, Ricochet and Jinder Mahal for the Intercontinental Championship next week.
Right?
Who cares?
Mm-hmm.
My prediction
I
is
do give
Cesaro.
AEW credit, even if
Yeah.
their show sucks, like they'll end the show on a note that people leave pretty satisfied with it a lot of times. So it's a funny little trick, but
Hardy's the number 1 in AEW, like number 1 tag team, then FTR, then Bucks, then Top Flight.
there you go.
Pretty decent list. Dante Martin
Yeah,
and
I got
Darius.
Santana
Yeah.
Ortiz higher up in that list as well. So maybe
Yeah,
before Top Flight.
I'd probably replace Top Flights with Red Dragon.
Red Dragon and
very good.
Santana Ortiz should be up there, yeah. Maybe more so than the Bucks.
Yeah.
Dante Martin and Darius definitely know. Yeah, they got time. They're coming. They're coming. Suzuki is always awesome. Yeah, he can definitely be. He had I think I watched him 4 times in WrestleMania weekend. Suzuki's good, man. He's got a good personality, and he beat the shit out of Effie. It was kind of funny.
Samoa Joe is a big professional wrestler, so Khan knows he can't face small competitive.
Small competition. Yeah, so I agree.
Small competition. Like
Yeah.
as in someone who's like 110 pounds. Yeah, I understand that. So that's it.
That's it. That was the week in wrestling. And again, I want to see somebody knock Dynamite off. I think Rampage almost did it this week with that Yuta match and the Trent match. People can say what they want. Right now, we do these weekly power rankings. We have the fans vote, our opinion. And if you look, most weeks, it's WWE shows are at the bottom. The AEW shows are at the top. If
Impact
people
around the
disagree,
middle.
show up and vote and come to the watch parties. We're here all week long, Will. Don't forget, we have Memory Lane Stone Cold Edition 1. I'm sure we're going to have multiple volumes of Stone Cold. That will be in less than an hour. So tune in, folks. I'm going to need a drink and stretch my legs.
You're going to need that. So, yeah, we have Chris Trademark with the double whites as they do Wrestling Down Memory Lane with Stone Cold's best moments. Yeah, it might turn into a series. Stone Cold has like a shit ton of good moments. Tomorrow as well, Raw Watch Party. Who will show up exactly? Like maybe we could see some more returns. Maybe we could see Ezekiel do some more crazy shit. And holy shit, it's Cody Rhodes, something like that. And don't forget, since a lot of people really seem to like me now, a new series starring myself coming soon as well. And then every Saturday, the two of us. At 11 p.m. We haven't really advertised it. The Let's Rumble podcast, the second episode coming this Saturday. 11 a.m. My bad, not 11 p.m.
Yes.
We'd be dead. But yeah, and a lot more things. LJ and the new member Ali with the news as well. So subscribe and yeah, we're over 100. We just do some more content with you. Red Dragon versus Jurassic Express for the titles next week. Oh yeah, exactly. I can't wait for that either. I want Red Dragon to take the two. LAX is coming back too. Hernandez will eventually be with Sertano and Ortiz and Eddie Kingston. That would be a pretty decent stable. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I can't wait for that. I honestly can't wait for that. And I'm looking forward to it. But that being said, folks, like I said, we got another show in an hour or less than an hour. So we are going to let you go. Thank you for being here on our weekly power rankings. Remember, tune into the watch parties every day, Monday to Friday. We don't miss a day. And if you want your favorite show to be number 1, show up, give us your votes at the watch party. Sometimes we give away prizes. Remember, Thomas, I'm going to track you down, and we got a little prize for you. And then, yeah, folks, every day of the week. And like Will said, we have Ali and LJ doing news and bringing you more content. We have little segments and shows coming. Will's already got this show. Now he's going to work on the podcast. We got his other show coming.
Yes.
We got Chris doing Memory Lane. Everybody's working hard to bring you the best content we can. So like, subscribe, join, and tell all your friends. We just got started, folks, and we can't wait to see where this goes. But yeah, until then, Will, I'll see you on the flip side.
Thank you.